go over to Manchester City. Government figures saw requests for updates on the 115 charges case turned down. Could you think they might be concerned about relations with the UAE?
Look, there's been no doubt. I've said right from day one that all of a sudden, if Abu Dhabi wanted to put in a new order for fighter jets, then all of a sudden these sort of issues would be resolved quite quickly. I think government are keeping a watching eye on it. The Premier League are saying that they have had no contact with the government, but I think we should be under no illusions that this is a pretty big situation, and politically, we'll try and see what goes on. What was interesting in the football regulator bill that went before Parliament this week or last week was that they excluded the phrases about having to take decisions in the interests of Britain's trade. Now, that was interesting that was dropped, and that may give us a bit of a clue as to any potential problems that were coming up. And so the regulator would not be tasked with that any further. But yes, you've always got to wonder when we're dealing with sovereign states like Saudi or the UAE, do political implications get involved somehow in football decisions because football is so high profile? So there's no doubt there is that mix, and I'm a very big proponent, as I've said many times, on keeping politics out of football. But I think we've got to try our best to do that. But sometimes it becomes inextricably linked.
And how can we expect that to actually affect the final charges that are brought on Man City? Are the FA and the people involved on the Premier League side of this case going to be swayed in any way on the way that they rule on these 115 charges in order to worry about these, governmental, relationships?
Look, I hope in no way at all there is any leaning on the Premier League or anything at all around the punishments that are decided if, in fact, City are found guilty. Obviously, the government would love it if there was an outcome where City had no penalties at all. But look, if you're a government and you've got a major situation of a club that you own, just like Man City, you're going to try every piece of political power you can to try and protect your asset. So it's understandable, and that would include any political favours that you can call in. So let's just wait and see how this all develops. But there's potentially stories aplenty that could come out of this. So I think everybody's now getting aware of the scrutiny they're under. And certainly if something doesn't seem right, it probably won't be right. So we're going to have to keep a very, very close eye on this from both sides.
And as we ask every single week, can we still expect to have some sort of update end of calendar year on these 115 charges? I mean, what has this been going on? 2 years? I feel like we've, all non-Manchester City fans have kind of been waiting to hear, are they getting relegated? Are they not? Well, when will we have a true update on this?
I've got zero news, I'm afraid, on that front. We're all watching it every week, every day even. No news, no leaks at the moment, unless some journalists have got something special. I certainly haven't got anything in the football circles. I would think we're still going to be into next year before we start to hear anything more concrete. So I think we just buckle down, get through Christmas, and then we can expect to brighten up our Januaries with some exciting news.
And the APT case, so we have kind of a resolution there, or that's still also ongoing? I mean, it's just over and over again with this.
It is. This is what, as we've said many times, the can of worms that the Premier League have opened is incredible. And these things, I'll take the phrase that the Premier League used when they tried to block the football regulator. They said they thought that would have unintended consequences. Well, nothing can be surer that the Premier League have opened up with PSR unintended consequences. And so these things go on, have a hugely detrimental effect, has football in the headlines again for all the wrong reasons. And we all just wish this could be put to bed and got on with, but we're still a long way from the whole thing being ruled on.